a person who doesn't have much, it's just going to be a simple matter of getting a life insurance policy for $50 and that's it. There's nothing
Mhm.
to be done. These folks, they need the life insurance, they need estate planning, they need a tax strategy, they need to, protect wealth, they need to use the income that they're getting now to build wealth in the right manner, not putting it into a 401k where it gets sucked in, to a hole. And if there's a couple bad years like last year, they could lose 20, 30% of their life savings in 1 year.
Welcome back to the CA Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. We got a special guest that's back again, man. Due to popular demand, please welcome back the professor of wealth and money and finances and life insurance, Mr. Bernard Borges. What is up, sir?
Man, thank you for having me back, man. It was a pleasure being here on the first time, and I'm excited about this second go around. I think we're going to get more deeper into some of the current stuff than we did it last time. So I'm excited to share.
True. Yeah, man, I appreciate you. Every time we see you, you get even like better looking and more dressed up,
I'm trying,
I think that's money. Is that what money does? Is that what money does?
No, man, that's what being with Cody does.
There we go. I like that. So for those that don't know, we did an interview about a couple months ago, how this insurance agent wrote 85,000 in 2 months. He's got about 2,500 views on that piece. And then we did a webinar together and we dropped it on YouTube, how to use life insurance to get filthy freaking rich. And that has over 1,000 views in 3 days. So, dude, I mean, I don't know when we'll drop this, but like what has got you, like you have a lot of agents like reaching out and wondering what you're doing and like getting attention. Have you always been doing what you're doing, or like what led you to this part of the space that you're really dominating?
No, I was fortunate enough to be, taken aside because of attention I was getting on final expense, and had now as a mentor who sat me down and just said, look, with all due respect to what you're doing in a final expense space, I think you have a bigger calling. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, I don't know if you're aware, but final expense does not add 1 ounce of wealth to your community. And in fact, to be honest with you, you're extracting it out. And I said, well, how can that be? When they die, they get money. He said, yeah, but what about all the years that they're living? I said, well, life insurance. I mean, what do you want me to do? That's what it's for. And he said, no. He said, life insurance is actually for the living, and you're in a position to help healthy people earn a lot more money than having the life insurance companies just take it from them as if they're sick or impaired in some way. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? And that's when he introduced me to the ideology of the 7702 plan, life insurance at its highest form, which is called, advanced marketing. And that's IULs and annuities and infinity banks and all these type of things. And I'm like, what? Like, I could do this? Like, I got a license to do it? He's like, bro, your license works for this. So I've been in the business at that time 15 years and had no idea about the existence of this stuff. And so to be able to truly be, coached in that way and, given, really a new path, a new path in this business, is really just, I'm grateful, eternally grateful and indebted to him. And so I only, all this that you see here is just paying that forward, truly paying that forward.
Totally. Also, too, you mentioned something about most people just don't know stuff, and you didn't know for 15 years. How often does that happen where somebody just isn't in the know? They don't have the knowledge they need to know. Do you think knowledge is power? Do you think knowledge is irrelevant? Do you think that a lot of people don't know stuff they need to know? Why is it important? What do you think?
You said it you couldn't say it any better the first time. Knowledge is power. It's power, and it empowers. It gives empowerment to people that otherwise feel like they're just kind of one of many. Whereas now, we're in a position where we can be a differentiator in the market. We want to distinguish ourselves like what we both want in our respective spaces. I mean, You want to distinguish yourself. You want your program to be able to stand out. I want to be able to distinguish myself. I want my agency to have factors and facets that aren't available anywhere else. And I'll get into that in a little bit. Remind me to tell you some of our features and benefits of our agency. So I purposely, intentionally look for people to speak to about being different. Now, if you want to be the norm, then I'm not for you. I'm not everybody's cup of tea for sure. And I'm definitely not somebody who wants to be average.
Or broke.
So don't call me. If you're average and you want to stay that way, don't call me, please.
If you want to be average, you want to be broke, homeless.
We keep all that energy out of here.
Yeah, man, that's good. I like that. I try to do the same, by the way.
Sure.
When you talk about different, how important is it to be different and to look for ways to stand out versus just being like everyone else from a marketing standpoint?
It is, for me, it's everything. Being different has been everything positive for me. I want to be the guy in a red suit if everybody's wearing black. If everybody's wearing blue, I want to be in a gray suit. I have to stand out because it's not even for selfish reasons. It's for the benefit of my audience. And the reason why is because if I look the same as everyone else, they're not going to know what I bring and how that will truly affect them positively. And I won't get my word out to enough people. And so I have to do brash things. I have to do things totally different to get their attention. Once they have I have their attention, then they're going to be grateful that they looked me up. They're going to be great because that's what I'm getting now. A lot of people are like, man, I didn't know. I didn't know this business. I didn't know there was an agency that operated this way. I didn't know that there was an agency that had this as a niche, that they focused in on, this wealth building thing. They didn't even call it that, and that they have a whole structure behind it. It's not just, hey, we do annuities here. It's a whole structure. We can put you in front of those people, and again, as I said last time, along with your lead system, where we partner with you guys, you're putting us in front of the type of market that we need. And it's a very slim market compared to the folks that are, have less than these high net worth people. So it's a particular, craft. And we have the university, Wealth Building University, to teach the craft on a high level, mass scale level. So it's not just, one person here or one person there. It's all virtual. So we're able to obviously touch many at once.
Yeah. And what type of agents do you see have success with your model and what you do? Like who's a good fit? Who's not a good fit? Is it for everyone?
Definitely isn't for everyone. Who's a good fit? It's hard to put a label on that because I've seen good fits from different backgrounds. I've seen final expense agents come here and kill it. I've seen final expense agents come here and can't touch it. They need to stay. I see mortgage protection people come in and kill it. I've seen mortgage protection people come in and they definitely need to stay in their lane. So I think the common thread would just be coachability. Somebody's got to be coachable. Of course, if they're new, they don't know any better. Those are because they don't have any, baggage to begin with. But I think people who just are eager to be coached, to learn, get uncomfortable is definitely going to be something you have to get uncomfortable with, and are able to just, I know this sounds trivial, but it's really a big thing, able to follow instructions to the T. I'm talking about, we have word tracks, specific wording, and words are power. Word is everything. Words are everything. And so if you can follow those tracks and truly, personalize it and make it your own, then you can do this. Because at the end of the day, these folks put on their pants and go to the bathroom and eat and do everything we do. They just have a lot more money. And sometimes people get intimidated because of how much money they have. And they feel like, they have to have this. I mean, you got to have respect for everybody, but there's this extra reverence that they want to give these folks. And believe it or not, the folks don't want it either. They just want to be treated like folks, like normal people. And then, if you get that balance where, it's respectful, but they feel like they're a person to you and not an object that you can get something from money wise, you got a whole different ball game. And so, we're looking for people who just know how to just connect with people. That's really the profile. Male, good, male, female, good agent, bad agent, doesn't really matter. It's just, do you have those skill sets? And it could be older or younger. That doesn't matter either. We got 20 somethings doing it big time. We got 50 something, 60 something. So it just comes down to having that attitude, that mindset.
And what made you start wanting to like work and help and sell to people with money versus people that don't have it?
Well, that's a layered answer. The low hanging fruit is that there's people that have that kind of money. There's a lot of money in that, and so it's the old adage: work smarter, not harder. So if you can, let's just say in the final expense, average client is $1,000 payout. You can get 10, 15, 20,000 payout with these deals. Certainly 5,000 or more. So that's one reason. But let's go deeper. It also, actually, they need our help more. A person who doesn't have much, it's just going to be a simple matter of getting a life insurance policy for $50 and that's it. There's nothing to be done. These folks, they need the life insurance. They need estate planning. They need a tax strategy. They need to, protect wealth. They need to use the income that they're getting now to build wealth in the right manner, not putting it into a 401k where it gets sucked in, to a hole. And if there's a couple bad years like last year, they could lose 20, 30% of their life savings in 1 year. So either if they have it, to keep it, if they don't have it, to build it, tax free and also, free of any type of, major loss. There's no loss. There's zero's the hero. They can't go below zero. So
yes,
that's important for them. So there's many different, and then also post-mortem after they pass on, to be able to tax, without any taxes, without any state taxes, probate, any of that stuff, to be able to pass on their legacy, their fortune to, to their heirs. And so that's important too. And that goes into the trust and the different types of wills and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of different layers. When somebody has an estate of $250,000 or more, you really want to, put them in position to be protected on many different levels while they're living and then post-mortem. So that's really the long-winded answer of that. And it's also more exciting. It's like putting a puzzle together. Everybody's a puzzle, their own fingerprint puzzle that you have to, and the reason why they're unique is because their goals are all different. Yeah. So you have to be able to put them in position based on their goals, or give them a reality check and let them know that their goals aren't realistic based on where they are or what they're looking to do. So different components to that. And I find that to be fascinating. I'm probably a nerd when it comes to this, but I'm just fascinated by that, and to be able to solve those, equations. And I know there's a lot of agents that would get a lot of fulfillment out of doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's cool. That's cool. And when you talk about like what you do and what your company do, and like, why don't you talk about some of that and like how that came about and et cetera?
Okay. What we do is that we are a factory assembly line of building business owners. That's in a nutshell what we want to do. We don't want to take on life insurance agents. Life insurance agents are employee minded, and employee minded folks, growth is hard to come by in that space, in that mental space. So we want to put people in a position where we call them a Miami makeover. We bring them to Miami, really make them over. We don't put any makeup on them, but we make up their mind. We do a once over on it, and we give them input, food for thought, self-development, as well as some books and references that they can use or what have you. And they emerge out of that 2-day event hopefully with a different outlook on their business and on their career. And that assembly line, I call it an assembly line because we have different components to help build that person from coming in as an agent to when they come to the assembly line to being a full-fledged entrepreneur, taking advantage of all our components. So those components include I guess it's time to bring it up now. Business in a Box. That's an exclusive program that we have where you can come in and get your full business in a quote unquote virtual box. That business in a box includes your recruiting. We take care of all the recruiting for them, so they'll be able to have an appointment setter that will set interviews. We recruit the licensed agents only, so they can build their business immediately from day one. We also do appointment setting, so their leads that they provide to the appointment setter will be appointments will be set, and that way, I call it. Normally, agents have to go through a haystack to find needles. The old
Yes.
on a haystack. Well, what we do is we stack the needles. We have the appointment setters go out, find the needles, and then stack them for you and put them in a nice, calendar for you. So all you gotta do is pick up the phone, and now you're doing what we call IPA, income producing activity.
That's right.
The wasted time zone. That's where agents lose it all. Is in that limbo of trying to find clients, trying to find business partners to work with, agents. We eliminate all that wasted time, and now they're stacking the agents in the interview sessions, and they're stacking clients in appointments, and now you got it all. Plus we add the social media element. The social media is going to be, we're going to create your profile, your bio, you're going to do digital banners, you're going to have videos, you're going to have all kind of educational material, so that when you start to engage people and they say, who the heck is this Bernard Borges guy, and you go look on the page, oh wow, he's into wealth building, he's you can see what that person is. There's too many agents. I bet you, I took a poll, 90% of supposedly life insurance agents, if I look at their page, other than them saying that they work with a life insurance company or calling themselves an insurance broker, there's a whole lot on that page that says nothing about what they do. And so we are very illiterate. You aren't, but most people are very illiterate when it comes to how to utilize social media. And so we're going to, again, take that out of their hands by having daily posts, stories, reels, TikToks, LinkedIn, all the major platforms, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook are all going to be part of this business in a box. And then included in that we have some periphery things where they do inbound calls, where people are calling them. Right before I talked to you, I got an inbound call, and now I just phone, boom, I got $1,000 sale like that. So that's part of the business in a box. And then the other part that extends it a little bit beyond would be the wealth building and the university and what we do with that. And then, yes, even you, Cody, we're going to have some folks that are going to go high level, and we're going to bring them into you so that they can have the opportunity to do what I'm doing right now, to really put, brand themselves nationally and not just locally. So that's all in the box.
Let's go, man.
Doesn't cost a lot. One sale covers it all for the month.
Yep.
So we're going to scale this thing by scaling agents to businesses. We're not bringing in agents anymore. We're bringing in franchise owners, like as if they, own the Jets or the 49ers or something, and they come in as the owner, and now they're going to hire a coach, they're going to hire staff, they're going to hire, obviously, draft players, which are the agents, and that's how we're taking it like a sports model.
That's cool, man. It's very unique. And if they want to learn more about the business in a box, where should we send them? What should they do?
Excellent question. And they can come right to me, 305-282-6150, or you can engage me on any of the social medias. Bernard Borges, BERNARD BORGES for Facebook, and Instagram is backwards. It's Borges Bernard. So same name, just backwards, and that will be Instagram. On LinkedIn is Bernard Borges as well. I am not a TikToker, so I'm not really on there. I do have an account, but very little use. That's an area of improvement for the next 6 months I'm going to be working on.
I love it, man. Dude, Bernard, I love doing stuff with you. We've been doing a ton lately, and I appreciate you being back on the channel. Once again, welcome back. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, and looking forward to more of this stuff. And also next month, I'm excited about the 8% Nation deal. I'm looking forward to working that with you, and we're gonna have a lot of fun over there in Dallas.
Dude, no doubt about it. Thank you all for listening to Power Player Podcast. Once again, thanks for hanging out with the Professor Bernard Borges, and we will see you on the next podcast. Adios. Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're going to love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there. I'm so excited for today's CA Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. We got a special guest. He is back on the channel talking about how to sell life insurance from home. Here's what I love about this person. Yeah, I'm telling you, this will be one of the best.